Well, good morning again, my friends. Welcome back to another Friday devotion, and glad you can join me. And so, the question for today, or the thought for today, don't have X, don't let that stop you. Now, I'm not referring to the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, okay? Now I know it's X, but X really meaning a variable, something, something that is very important to us, to you, and then you don't have it. Or maybe there's something that everyone else has and then you don't have it, okay? And so don't have whatever that, fill in that blank, okay? Whatever you actually don't have now, what you are missing, what you are lacking now, you might not have it. Don't let that stop you. And so here's the testimony of blind Bartimaeus. I want to share this to us. And we've heard this, I preached this before, but maybe we've never considered this, because I want us to understand, yes, he is blind. We're going to go to Mark chapter 10, verse 46. But notice how Bartimaeus, even though he's blind, so he doesn't have X, his X is his sight. And that's a big deal. I like my sight, right? And so that's a big deal not to have it. But he doesn't let that stop him. In fact, he uses his other senses, right? So he uses what he has to get to Jesus, to walk to Jesus, to walk with Jesus. So let's go to verse 46. Says, and they came to Jericho, and as he went out of Jericho with his disciples and a great number of people, blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, sat by the highway side begging. So he's blind, he's just begging. But notice verse 47, and when he heard that it was Jesus, so he uses his ears. So yep, unfortunately, he's got no sight, he's blind, that's tough, but he uses his ears. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out. And so, well, not taste, okay, but he's not mute, he's not dumb, so he could speak. So he cries out and says, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. In fact, you can't contain him, right? They said, hey, don't bother the master. He kept crying out even the more. And then he gets Jesus' attention because he knows Jesus is the Messiah. He doesn't say, Jesus, thou son, he doesn't say Jesus of Nazareth. He says, Jesus, thou son of David. So he knows Jesus is the Messiah, the one that fulfills Old Testament prophecy, the Savior of the world. And he's calling out to Jesus he wants to request something from Jesus that no one else can give him. He doesn't want money. He wants sight. He wants healing, right? And so Jesus stood still, commanded him to be called, and they called the blind man and said unto him, be of good comfort, rise, he calleth thee. And notice what it says here, and he's still blind, but he, casting away his garment, rose and came to Jesus. So he walked to Jesus. He wasn't a cripple. We read in other circumstances in the Bible, there was some cripple, lame from their birth, lame on their feet, they can't walk. In this case, he wasn't. And so, of course, we know the story. Jesus heals him. His faith has healed him. And again, the context, of course, Jesus is the one that healed him. But Jesus always says to those he heals, your faith has healed you. Meaning Jesus healed them, but through their faith. And so we have to receive what God says for us through faith. But just a reminder to us, friend, to you. Perhaps you don't have sight, okay, right, but you can hear this at least, or you don't have X. Don't let that stop you. And so Bartimaeus, he had nothing, he was a beggar. He had no property, he had no wealth, but he had his ears, he had his mouth, he had his feet, his legs. And so whatever we have, whatever you have, my friends, use it for the glory of God. Reach God, and no matter who or how or where we are, we can cry out to God. That is the amazing thing, and he hears us. He hears us. And no matter what little we have, don't get hung up on what we don't have. Don't let our lack of X, your lack of X, overshadow what we do have that God has given us. Use it for God. And so hope I can encourage you, my friends, and just a short and sweet, and may God richly bless you. Hope that we can worship together this coming Sunday in the house of God. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.